Zay Flowers got wiped out by the Lions last night. If you had Zay Flowers in fantasy and needed him to do something last night, you lost. That sounds very Warner Wolf-like.
Yes.
Good evening, football fans, people across America who play fantasy football. This is your Fantasy Fact Check. Welcome to our program. I'm sorry to say my broadcasting partner is depressed is not a strong enough word for the performance of his club. Devastated may be more appropriate for what we're seeing from Connor Checketts and his Manhattan Bachelors. But let's talk about that as we go on. Are you ready to do your best?
It's fresh. This is fresh.
It's fresh.
We'll do our best.
Well, it's been another rough week.
Yep. Week 3, disappointing for some, thrilling,
For others. Probably the biggest headline is that Teddy Boys and his club, the Corner Canyon Chargers, have stepped up and beaten the Manhattan Bachelors, the score being 146.64 to 127.32. Teddy, nice job to you and your general manager, Benjamin. Check it out. It is your first win. We have to say congratulations.
This was rough. I thought I had this in the bag, but slowly as Sunday wore on, Teddy's winning probability slowly started creeping up and up and up until Monday night. Zay Flowers, who was huge for me in my only win of the season, came up with nothing. And in response, Jahmyr Gibbs carrying Teddy over the finish line, and I end up losing by almost 20, which just doesn't feel right.
So Teddy scored more points than anybody in the entire league.
Besides Thomas, but yeah,
Thomas,
right there.
Yeah.
I don't understand Teddy's roster construction at all. I don't understand how I'm losing to this. And Teddy, this is not your fault. This is Ben's fault. You have 3 quarterbacks and you have 2 defenses, and you put up 146 points. I don't understand. I have Scadaboo on my bench, who put up 21 points.
Oh, yes, he had a big game.
And Nick Chubb put up 5.
Scadaboo was the only member of the New York Giants to
do anything
play
of
a game.
Any work.
He was the only one who showed up.
Yeah, let's get our energy up for America's game of the week.
This was the game of the week.
This is the game of the week. Yep. 2 undefeated squads going up against each other. Will versus Charles. This was another nail biter all the way up until tonight. Will winning all Sunday, but the tight end position, Mark Andrews, who everyone knew was depressed coming off of that playoff drop. Mark Andrews went late in our draft, but coming up massive for Charles today, putting up 24 points and carrying Charles to keep him perfect.
Meanwhile, Daniel Jones kind of cooled off a little bit, but the real problem was for Will. Malik Neighbors never even caught the ball. He had 2 receptions
13 yards
in that game and 13 yards. Congratulations, Charles, for winning America's game of the week. Now, here's a shocker. For so many reasons, Gabe, who is the fantasy football pro of all pros, should have started Geno Smith instead of Russell Wilson.
That would have been the game changer.
I think Russell is a strong starter. I don't think he's much of a finisher. So if you want to come in to the war room, I'll give you some guidance and instruction. Justin Jefferson, though, did not have a big week.
Great either. It's been real up and down for Gabe. He could very easily be 3-0 if he just made the proper adjustments. He hasn't, and here he's left 1-2.
As an owner in the Fantasy Football League, you have plenty of financial resources. So I'll just remind you that you can come in.
Flooded with cash.
You can come in to the war room with a $100,000 deposit, non-refundable.
Goodness gracious.
And that will get you 5 minutes in the war room. Because that is the nature of my experience and expertise.
That's generous.
Yes.
When you think about it, that's generous.
A check or money order, if you will, and we'll invite you into the war room.
Massive adjustment for Andrew is putting in Ricky Pearsall at wide receiver, who had a massive game, 15 points. That's way above what he's usually projected to do. Takes out Devontae Smith. Continues to have faith in A.J. Brown, who finally, after 2 weeks of nothing gives him nearly 20 points in
Well,
this
and
one.
that's taking a -2 for being silly enough to choose
Maybe the
the
worst defense
Cowboys
in the league.
defense.
So if Andrew can just get it together in the quarterback department and the defense department, he's looking at a team that can actually compete, because his wide receivers were the problem the first 2 weeks. That looks to be gone. He looks to have 3 wide receivers that can actually produce for him. So I feel like there's an easy trade here with Teddy. Teddy has 2 defenses. He has 3 quarterbacks. I think there's something that can be done here to benefit both sides. But great win for Andrew to finally get on the scoreboard.
Very nice win for Andrew. We're celebrating Jordan Love as your quarterback. That can only take you to good places.
Or having it picked off in the fourth quarter for no good reason and losing to the worst team in the league.
That can be a problem, yes.
I need to address the elephant in the room. You attacked Andrew last week for having the team name of the New Canaan Rejects.
Yes, I
He has
told him
changed
that was
it.
demotivating to
He has
the
changed it to
players.
the London Marginally Good Players, and he gets his first win of the season. What is your take?
My take is that he said in all the press, in all the newspapers, this was front page on the New York
Nationwide.
Post.
Yes, nationwide.
He said changing the name to the London Marginally Good Players was a shot at Grandpa.
This was very public. This was very public.
And so in the spirit of our current administration, I am suing you for $14.6 million. You'll get a copy of the lawsuit. Andrew, congratulations. You chose London as marginally good players as a shot at me, but it worked for you. And I'm really happy for you. Didn't that just show my great sportsmanship?
Yes, very great sportsmanship, I think. Let's look at Charlie. He had a session in your war room with your expertise and your experience. You put all your chips in the middle of the table and said that Charlie would come back and clear.
Well, he didn't have Joe Burrow, so he started Justin Herbert.
This did not happen. Yeah.
Who had a couple of really good games, but not such a good game this week. 14.6 points. He put Debo in, which I instructed him to do, and Debo
came back with a solid 3.9 points.
3.9 points. Charlie, I don't really know what to say. Burrow's out, Kittle's out. There's nobody on your bench
Ayuk's out.
that can even score.
Nothing. He's really he's riddled with injuries and people that are just underperforming. He does have some trades in the works, I will say.
Okay.
I have heard reports that he is seeking a lot of trades and that he has some that are on the verge of getting done.
Be sure and tune in to hear Christian this week. I'm sure he'll have some insights for you all.
Hey, this is Christian, and I'm the Fantasy Fact Check Insider. We have some massive developments concerning to Team Miracles. The Miracles have traded George Kittle, Ja'Cory Croxy Merritt to the Kabuki Red Raiders in exchange for Jake Ferguson and Keon Coleman. George Kittle is injured, so the Miracles really needed to fill in that tight end spot. This also gives the Miracles more depth at wide receiver. In other news, the Goofs have dropped Giants quarterback Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson has played for 3 games straight but got benched for Jackson Dart. The Federal High Dukes have really been struggling to find a defense. They added and dropped the Rams defense and picked up the Chargers defense. After Trey Tucker's Miracles added him to the roster. Blockbuster. Huge breaking news. The Miracles have traded for Cam Skadden. In exchange, the Manhattan Bachelors are getting Lions wide receiver James Williams. This fills a big need at running back for the Miracles. The Miracles haven't won a game, but they're definitely making moves. This has been Christian, your Fantasy Fact Inside Chapter. Catching you up on all the news. We'll see you next time. Back to you, Max.
In other news, though, Ashton is 2-1, right?
2-1.
2-1, and Ashton.
Honestly, some sloppy victories along the way.
Another big win for you. McCaffrey with 19 points. Kyron Williams, 18.2. Nico Collins. These guys they've had big weeks and allowed you to score a big 97 points.
And he has some players on his bench that can produce as well. This is a good sign. There's not a lot of deep benches, and Ashton looks like he has some players.
The Disney World Ducks versus the Federal Heights Dukes. So Spencer will be 1-2 now,
1-2,
right? 1-2
yeah.
on the season, son. And for a guy who talks about football 6 hours a day for a living. But how about this other club that has been put together?
I know he has a loss on his record. This might be the best team in the league right now. He put up the most points this week. He put up the second most points in week 1. Thomas is looking really, really good so far.
Well, and Baker Mayfield came back in the final seconds to beat the Jets after the Jets had really snagged a victory from the jaws of defeat.
I'm not sure what side Thomas wanted to be on, being a Jets fan, but
Yes.
having Baker on your team. I mean, look at this. He has no weak spot on this club.
Yeah.
Having Hunter Henry randomly put up 25 fantasy points is crazy, and his kicker putting up 20 as well. I mean, no weak points.
Well done, Thomas, boys. Well done.
Nate coming off a hot week. I kind of expected him to put up a better fight this week against Clyde. Instead, he gets pummeled.
Pummeled is an understatement. That is a 47-point loss, Nate. You worked for the NFL. You played football. How can this happen? There's no luck. This is all about skill. And Lamar Jackson, pretty good choice. Jonathan Taylor with a huge game for Indiana. David Montgomery for Detroit, another huge game. Puka, this might be the best team.
It's another club without a lot of holes. Tight end is really the only one you can look to. This is dangerous. Clyde left points on the board. I mean, he could make some adjustments with his bench to even get more points. That's really, really scary. Nate, obviously, nothing he can do to compete. CeeDee Lamb, who was Nate's first round pick, looks like he could be out for a while with the high ankle sprain. That's devastating. I would like to say, what do you have to say about Davante Adams? I know Nate lost.
3 receptions, 56 yards, and is that a receiving touchdown? Here's what I say about Davante Adams, Nate. You're on borrowed time, okay? He's finished, done, checked out. He's just gliding along, accepting the money.
You're a Packers fan.
I am a
This
Packers
is the greatest
fan.
receiver you ever had.
I know, but that's why we traded him, because he was done.
I would like to mention one thing. Michael Pittman Jr., I don't know how many times we have to come up here and tell Nate to put this kid in the game. Keon Coleman gives you 3.5 points. Michael Pittman, once again, is above his projection with 16.3 points. It's obviously not making a difference in this game. But, I'd really love to see him make some adjustments.
Nate will
He's
be 1-2.
So the Twinners, the only teams left with an undefeated record. And I think Thomas is right on their tail. And Will still, I think if Malik can come back and have some big games, but outside of course, their father, that household really crushing it in the fantasy department.
I think their dad, basically, what he does is let the boys get all of the good players.
Oh yeah,
and
he's
then
just feeding
leaving
them.
him nothing.
I hope that's the case,
Yeah.
or else it's even more embarrassing.
There's no
for
other
Andrew.
explanation for it, really.
There can't be. Let's look next week's
Okay.
slate. If Teddy can continue to bring that on and face Charles head on, maybe Teddy evens it up at 500 and gives Charles his first loss. That would be huge for the league in general.
That would be very big, Teddy. So good luck against Charles, because he's got a very good club. And then the civil war between Will and Gabe.
That's the other one. That's the other one
The
I'm looking
little
at
giants and the big goofs. I'm sorry.
too. Hey, come on.
The little giants and the goofs. That should be a good matchup, because Will's now coming off his first loss.
Gabe desperately needs to do something.
He needs a win.
The last one that I think is worth a mention here is Ashton versus Thomas. Thomas, again, looking really good. Ashton has looked bright in spots, but he's going to need to probably make some adjustments to compete with Thomas. What do you think Ashton can do to get on Thomas's level, if anything?
I think Stephon Diggs is another guy that probably is just done.
Just done.
He's just done. So let's get him off the field, and let's put one of those other wide receivers on. Quentin Johnson, maybe?
Last thing I want you to take a quick gander at. We have rebranded the clubs.
Oh, I know.
Hi, today I'm going to be rating fantasy logos.
The mighty stallion, angry. You know, good teams kind of play angry. The game tonight between Detroit and Baltimore, I mean, they're angry because they live in those two cities. That's why they're angry.
Kind of like about the horse and the lightning bolts, I would give it a 6 out of 10.
Kalhuku Red Raiders. There he is, White Lightning. Is his hair like that?
I like the person with the staff a lot, and I like the color more. So I think I would give this a 7.
Kind of reminding you of a Christmas movie. Charlie, you need a miracle.
I would give this a 4.
I have no words, Andrew, for this one. But look at the look on your player's face. He's discouraged.
I would give this one a 3.
Well, these guys are flying high. Hawaii Henry's even wearing cleats.
Ooh, Hawaii. A 9 out of 10.
On the Duck's face, look at that view of optimism,
Yes.
and he's just going to knock anybody over that comes in his way.
This is a 10 out of 10. I love Donald Duck.
William the Lionhearted, this just works for you.
I'd give this a 7 out of 10. I like the tiger. I don't like how the person looks like a baby.
This is a 1940s movie called The Manhattan Bachelors. There's the skyline. No World Trade Center because this is
1940.
old and they're playing like it.
It's just bad. I do not like it. I'd probably give this a 3 out of 10.
I think you look tough. It goes with the name.
Because I like the guy with the katana a lot. I'll give this an 8 out of 10.
At least there's more than one goof here, and it's a good logo with past championships, harkening back to your past championships.
The goofs? Okay. This is a 9. I just like the trophies and I like the name. Is that Gable because he won 2 years in a row?
Won 2 years in a row.
Now here's a dynamic, beautiful, wow, the colors, everything, Spence.
Dude, who's this? Okay, well, I like it. That looks like an Irish setter. This is a 9.
Carmel Carnivals. This guy is built, cut, and looks ready to play, except for the mustache.
Ugh. I would give this a 4 out of 10. I just don't like the guy. I don't like the color that he's yellow.
It's made the players in our league have been much more motivated
I think so too.
by the logos,
I think so too.
and with the exception of the London marginally good players.
Andrew, I think you need to stay with the marginally good players and not the New Canada Jacks.
Good luck this week. I'll be in London watching from afar.
Watch out, marginally good players. London is coming for you.